That Harvard professor was kind enough to give up a Friday night to join me here live. And boy, do I have questions, Professor. First of all, should we be prepping?
We should monitor it. Thanks for having me. That's the way science is done. We shouldn't assume we know the answer about its nature in advance. It's a blind date of interstellar proportions. And my advice on blind dates is watch the other side before you say anything.
When Harvard's top astrophysicist tells you we're on a blind date with an interstellar species, you pay attention. When NASA suddenly goes silent on critical data about that same object, you start asking questions. I'm talking about 3I Atlas, the Manhattan-sized visitor currently racing through our solar system. And what's happening behind closed doors might be the most important story no one's talking about. On his recent interview with NewsNation on November 8, 2025, Harvard professor Avi Loeb said something that should make everyone pause. It's a blind date of interstellar proportions, and my advice on blind date is watch the other side before you say anything. Think about what that means. A blind date isn't just meeting someone new, it's meeting someone you know nothing about. Their intentions, their capabilities, whether they're friendly or dangerous. In another blog post, Loeb expanded on this, saying we need to watch the other side before drawing conclusions. His advice? Treat this like you would any high-stakes encounter with an unknown entity. Collect every piece of data possible. He even told NewsNation on a different interview a week earlier, you often assume that the dating partner would be very friendly, but you have to worry about serial killers as well. But here's where it gets disturbing. The most crucial data we need? NASA has it, and they're not sharing it. On October 2nd and 3rd, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter captured high-resolution images of 3I Atlas using the HiRISE camera. These images have a spatial resolution of 30 kilometers per pixel, 3 times better than the best Hubble images we have. That was over a month ago. Where are the images? The excuse? Government shutdown, bureaucratic delays, standard processing procedures. But here's what doesn't add up. Representative Anna Paulina Luna sent a letter to NASA's acting administrator on October 31st, calling this information of great importance to advancing our understanding of interstellar visitors. NASA agreed to brief her and her staff, but when it comes to releasing the actual images to the scientific community, radio silence. Meanwhile, China's space program released their Tianwen-1 orbiter images on November 6th, just over a month after they were taken. Lower resolution than NASA's, but at least they're transparent. Why can China release their data within weeks, but NASA can't release theirs after more than a month? What's in those images that requires this level of, let's call it what it is, gatekeeping? And here's the kicker. When Kim Kardashian asked the NASA acting administrator about 3I Atlas on social media, he responded within hours. No aliens, no threat to life here on Earth. When Loeb and other scientists request the October 2nd imagery, weeks of silence. Loeb called this out directly. NASA chose to respond to a successful businesswoman over addressing legitimate scientific inquiries from researchers. While NASA sits on their high-resolution imagery, scientists working with publicly available data have documented something extraordinary. On November 5th, new images from the Arenaves Observatory in Spain revealed something that shouldn't be possible. 3I Atlas has no visible cometary tail. Let me explain why this matters. When 3I Atlas passed closest to the Sun on October 29th, Loeb calculated it should have lost at least 13% of its mass through normal cometary activity. That's billions of tons of material that should be visible as a massive tail of gas and dust blown away by solar radiation. Compare this to other comets photographed on the same day showing clear, prominent tails. That's what a normal comet looks like near the Sun. 3I Atlas? A compact ball of light. No tail. But it gets stranger. NASA's own JPL data confirms something Loeb has been highlighting: non-gravitational acceleration. The object moved off its expected trajectory in ways that gravity alone can't explain. For a natural comet to produce that acceleration through gas jets, Loeb estimates it would need to lose 10 to 20% of its mass. But there's no evidence of that mass loss. No giant cloud of gas and dust, no tail. So what moved it?
Let's talk about the trajectory, because this is where coincidence starts looking like something else entirely. 3I Atlas's orbit is aligned within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane, the flat disk where all the planets orbit. The probability of that happening by random chance? 0.2%, 1 in 500. The timing of its arrival allowed it to pass within tens of millions of kilometers of Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. It was also perfectly positioned to be unobservable from Earth during its closest approach to the Sun, the exact moment when a spacecraft would optimally fire its engines for maximum efficiency. Loeb asks the obvious question: was this hideout planned as an opportune time for technological action? And here's the kicker about its size. 3I Atlas is 1,000,000 times more massive than Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than Borisov, the only other 2 confirmed interstellar objects we've detected. Loeb points out that for an object this large to randomly visit our solar system during the narrow window of human spaceflight capability is statistically improbable. Yet this massive visitor just showed up, right on time, right on target. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why the resistance to even asking these questions? In his blog, Loeb wrote, "I was asked to rank 3I Atlas on the Loeb scale, where 0 is definitely natural and 10 is definitely technological. As of now, I give 3I Atlas a rank of 6. 6 out of 10. That's not fringe conspiracy theory territory. That's a Harvard professor saying there's a genuine scientific question here that deserves investigation." But look at how the system responded. When Kim Kardashian expressed concern, NASA's acting administrator immediately reassured her. When scientists request data, bureaucratic delays. Loeb told Elizabeth Vargas Reports, the politics of the day should not sabotage science. They have the data. They should share it with scientists. They can wait with any press release. Think about the optics here. NASA has time to calm celebrity concerns on social media, but claims they need more weeks to release critical scientific data that could help us understand this object before it leaves our solar system forever? In his Joe Rogan interview, Loeb suggested that the delay in releasing the high-rise images is not a sign of extraterrestrial intelligence, but rather of terrestrial stupidity. But is it stupidity, or is it strategy? Here's the timeline we're working with. 3I Atlas will make its closest approach to Earth on December 19th, 2025, just over a month from now. It'll still be 170 million miles away, but this represents our final window for detailed observation. After that, it passes Jupiter in March 2026 and leaves our solar system permanently. Every day of delay in releasing NASA's data is a day lost for coordinating follow-up observations. Loeb emphasizes this urgency. The scientific community would have greatly benefited from the dissemination of this time-sensitive data as astronomers plan follow-up observations in the coming months. But NASA's position seems to be, trust us, it's just a comet, and you'll see the data when we decide you're ready to see it. Representative Luna has secured a promise that NASA will brief her as soon as the government reopens, but that's a briefing behind closed doors, not a public data release. Closing. The blind date continues. So, where does this leave us? We have an object the size of Manhattan, traveling faster than previous interstellar visitors, perfectly aligned with our planetary plane, showing acceleration that can't be explained by observed mass loss, lacking the tail it should have, and composed of materials that include industrial nickel alloys. We have the highest resolution images of this object locked away in NASA servers while a government shutdown becomes a convenient excuse for delay. And we have Harvard's leading astrophysicist telling us we're on a blind date with an interstellar species, urging us to collect as much data as possible before this visitor leaves our solar system forever. Loeb uses a historical analogy that should make us all uncomfortable. He compares 3I Atlas to the Trojan horse, something that appears innocent but could deliver an existential threat. The data exists. It's sitting in NASA's archives right now. The question is, what's in those images that we're not supposed to see? And perhaps more importantly, who decided that celebrity reassurance is more urgent than scientific transparency?